Hello and welcome to another Franchise Hockey Manager stream. My name is Adam. I'm the community manager of Franchise Hockey. With me, as always, and maybe digitally pictured on your screen, is everyday producer Jeff. Say hi, Jeff.
Hey, everybody.
And we are back with California Dreamin' 1972-73 California Golden Seals. The clock is running out. Part 13. Jeff, we went to the Stanley Cup Final again, and we almost pulled off the reverse sweep.
Yep,
Although we
we're
didn't quite.
down 3-0 to the Rangers, got them to Game 7, and then lost it in Game 7 at Madison Square Garden. And it wasn't a particularly close game, if I remember right.
No.
So they kind of showed up in the last one we didn't. We got run over, so that's the end of our dynasty. So we're on to the next season. Bunch of interesting stuff going on here.
Wait, you said the end of our dynasty?
Oh, yeah, we had a one-season dynasty.
We've been to the Stanley Cup. Is that 3 years in? 2 years in a row.
Yeah, 2 years in a row.
I'd say we're doing something right.
Other things going on around the world right now. The WHA is up and running, so we'll be watching that this season. Didn't really lose anybody to them. We knew it's coming, so we got all of our draft picks signed right away. So nobody jumped. We did lose one guy, Don O'Donohue, who we weren't really planning on having back anyhow. And did Brackenbury wind up there? No, he's back in junior. And did they take any of the others? Nope, doesn't look like one. I just made one little trade. We signed Gary Simmons late last season as a fourth, I think he has our number 4 goalie, just in case somebody got hurt. But we drafted Denny Heron this year and got him signed, so he'll be with Bernie Wolf on the farm team. And I traded Simmons away for whatever I could get, which turned out to be Ted Harris from Vancouver. He's 36 years old, probably not going to contribute that much, but we could use a spare defense. We were down to 4 defensemen on the, or that's actually because we got 2 guys away on the Canadian national team, which more about in a second. But I will probably wind up sending Harris down, and doubt he'll ever play for us unless we get into serious injury trouble. And speaking of the national team, this is the big things going on right now. The 1972 Summit Series. We're right at the start of that between Canada and the Soviet Union. We've got 2 of our guys on the team, Dick Redmond and Carol Vadnais. Pretty good Canadian team, probably better than what there was in real life. I think we've got about 14, 15 guys who are on the real 72 team, but this team has also got Bobby Orr because he's not injured, Bobby Hull because he hasn't, and Bobby Hull and J.C. Tremblay because they haven't jumped to the WHA. I guess Wayne Connolly too. And Gordie Howe has not retired.
There we go.
So he's still going strong. And so Canada is looking a little bit stronger, but still they've got fairly tough competition. The Soviet team with Trechak, who's only 20 at this point, but about to go on to a great career. And on paper, it doesn't look like they're quite as good as us, but, well, we'll see. So I'm just going to advance day by day, and we can see what's going on in that series as we get closer to the NHL season, because I don't think our schedule starts until, Saturday, September 23rd. So I don't think there's much overlap, if any, between this and the Summit Series. And I do have everything set up. One thing, our farm team has just set as independent team this year because we used an early version of the database. It's actually Salt Lake of the WHL at this point, I think. Speaking of which, in the next content update, we will be getting the Old Western League playable.
Nice.
So I got that.
You can play the old Vancouver Canucks.
Yeah, I got the old Vancouver. You actually get 2 Manitoba teams in this one. Do you know that?
In the old WHL.
Yep. It was basically, I mean, for a while in the 50s and 60s, it was basically a Canadian League plus Seattle. So they had Vancouver.
The Warriors?
Yep, the Warriors and, come on, the other one.
Wheat Kings? Or no?
Almost. Brandon Regals.
Right, the Regals. I forgot. Okay.
Yep, so they're there for a couple of years. They actually won the league championship one year and then I think moved the next season or 2 years after that.
I'm taking credit for the fact I knew the Warriors And I thought it was a branded team. I just forgot the Regals.
Yeah, and so they'll be in. That'll all be in next time, and then the not this upcoming update, but the one after that, I'll get the at least probably the IHL from 1984 on when it was a primary NHL affiliate those years. But let's move along here and just go day by day and watch what happens in the Summit Series. I have to do it that way. And game one. Well, not quite as bad as the real life result where the Russians won, I think it was 7-3.
Ooh,
But
that's gonna be tough.
it's a 4-3 loss in the opener.
Gigi Speed says, "Mr. Hockey, hope you guys are well. I remember when I was a child, Gordy seemed more often spoken about as an all-time great. It's funny how time can make someone almost underrated. Mr. Hockey has to be everyone's top 5 all-time players."
Yeah, and looks like he had a pretty good game in the opener. It's just the rest of the team was a bit shaky. Our guys both played, Vadnais and Redmond. Vadnais did not have a good game. Redmond was okay. And Rogi Vachon in goal for Team Canada. And was upstaged by Tretiak in that, so. Oh, we got some mail. I did re-sign all of our guys with expiring contracts rather than forgetting about it until the new year, which probably cost us money last year. And no, Harris, the new guy needs a new number, whatever.
Not unexpected. What team do you guys like again? Gigi Speed is asking.
Adam is
Well,
Winnipeg, I am Vancouver. What it?
yeah.
Oh, good
No,
Lord.
no. What?
Look at what just happened in the Summit Series.
Why did that happen? That's weird.
Yeah, that's a
Oh, eight
national
nothing. Ooh.
crisis moment. And the Russians actually took 18 penalty minutes on top of that.
Who's coaching this team?
That was Harry Sinden. I'm not sure. It was Harry Sinden in real life. Yeah, the second period, they just collapsed.
Yeah.
Vyacheslav Anisin, who was pretty good in the actual Summit Series, 3 points, or a hat trick. Let's see, Vadnais. Actually, Vadnais did better this game. Redmond, not good at all. Vachon started and was pulled after the 7th goal, and Bernie Perrant actually played reasonably well the rest of the way. 1 goal against on 7 shots. And Tretiak with the 29 save shutout. So we're still in Canada for this part of the series, but Canada is down 2-0 at this point. Adam would love a Leafs Jets final, right?
For the fact of selling tickets? Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
I'll be making money on that. But
Okay,
no, it'd be terrible.
Bobby Orr and Bobby Hull lead the comeback, who didn't actually play in the 72 series in real life. 6-2 win. Shapovalov, the backup, actually went in for the Soviets after this 6th goal, and Vachon started again and bounced back, I guess. Pretty even scoring. Canada outshot them handily, so that blowout win, I guess, woke up Canada. We'll see how they... come on. Trying to get the mail and keep getting the globe icon.
I'm just going to point out, Jeff, just because you make it sound like I'm actually cheering for the Leafs. I in no way want the Leafs to be anywhere near the cup. I told you it would actually be a national crisis if the Leafs got that far.
Yeah, because we'd be hearing about it constantly on TSN and Sportsnet.
Yes.
And Canada can only keep it going for 1 game as the Soviets are now up 3-1. Valery Kharlamov. That's the way I don't see on the Canadian team, Bobby Clark. So nobody's there to slash Kharlamov across the ankle. And
Look at that 100 defensive game rating.
Yeah, Yakushev. And again, Howe is trying to Canada going. Wow, 50 shots against. Was Vachon in for that? Yeah, Vachon in again. Although you can't really blame him for that. 920 save percentage.
He's doing what he can, but yeah, he's getting hung out to dry hardcore.
Yeah, and just checking the schedule on the Summit Series. Where are we into the break now? Where they go? Yeah, we're 4 games. So now the series shifts to Moscow. There's I'm going to take about a week here and see if that gets us up to it.
Okay, I got to think here. Was it really 3-1 in real life? Because I feel like it. I guess no, there was a tie in there.
Yeah, it was 2-1 and 1, I think.
Yeah, because they tied in Winnipeg.
When's the next day? They took a fairly long break because they went and played some exhibition games in Sweden.
Yep.
22nd.
They went and beat up the Swedes.
Actually, that's the day before our next game, so I'll just run it up to that. Detroit talking about trading Gordie Howe. That seems unlikely. And the Flyers want to trade us an old defenseman for our fairly good young backup goalie. No way. And do we actually have... Yeah, Edwards on the trading block. Why'd you have Edwards on the trading block again?
Why did I have Edwards? Just looking to see if we could get an upgrade of some kind.
I'll put Harris on there, but I'm taking Edwards off.
Well, we had Denny Herron. We got 2, I guess. Who's younger and...
And okay, there we are. The game was yesterday.
I mean...
So game 5 of the Summit Series. Canada wins the first game in Russia, 4-3. Oops.
You know who does need a goalie is Detroit. Might be enough to get Gordie Howe out.
Take a look. No, we're not getting Gordie Howe out for our backup goalie. Okay, so we're playing now against LA in the exhibition opener. With a couple of defensemen gone, 6-5 win still. Oh, the Kings got a 6-5 win. We lost that. And I think it's every other day for the Summit Series games at this point, if I'm right. Oh, no, games today. And there we go. We got the historical ties just in Moscow instead of Winnipeg this time, 4-4. So all Canadian goals in the first period, and then they slowly handed that back. Vachon still starting. Yep. The Tretiak got pulled after the 4 goals in the first period, but Shapovalov, they got in as the backup. I don't think he played at all in the... Not even sure if he was on the team. But gets a shutout the rest of the way, and that puts the Summit Series at 3-2-1 for the Soviets at this point. So Canada needs a couple of wins here.
Well, they need a guy who's going to score goals, and Henderson isn't there.
Yeah, they went a slightly different direction. Henderson was actually a pretty controversial inclusion in the first place. What were you going to say?
Yep. No, I was wondering where... Okay, he's with Detroit right now. 63 points last year.
And it looks like Canada is not going to win. Yep, the Soviets get their 4th win of the series. So it's unwinnable for Canada now in 73, which was actually the score in the first game of the series in real life. Disappointing. And Vachon gets pulled after the 7th goal. Doesn't really matter. So when is game 8? That is 28th. this will be it. And it looks like it was another tie. Yep, 3-3 tie. So disappointing result for Canada with what looked to be a fairly loaded team. And there we go, Gordie Howe again. Best player on the ice, but doesn't get the support.
Gigi Speed asks, why was Henderson controversial? Just like he was on
Just
the
he
cut line?
wasn't, he was not really considered one of the top players in the league at that point. I think, let me look him up on the game. If I
Yeah, well,
check his.
there was also a lot of hard feelings over like the exclusion of the WHA guys
Yeah.
too. So
The big thing I remember, right? I mean, he was getting 50, 60 points a season, which was, but the big controversy that was they took him instead of Dave Keon from the Leafs, and a lot of people thought Keon would be better suited because he's actually a very good defensive forward. But in this one, he is still with the Wings and but on pretty much the same level of production. And I'm just going to take a quick look at the. It's released everything already. I don't know. I get the stats still work. So yeah, Bobby Hull and Gordie Howe actually all had a better tournament than I realized. Yeah, the big guys, Hull, Orr, and Howe showed up. Brad Park too, and then it kind of declines after that. No real. Makita a little bit in Rattel, but not much secondary scoring at all. Phil Esposito totally pointless and -6 in 8 games. Wow. And the goaltending was not remarkable. 4.59 goals against average for Vachon. And then for the Soviets, no surprise, Kharlamov leading the way. And fairly balanced scoring. The series looked a little closer when you look at it this way than it actually turned out. But really the big difference, Tretiak is about 3/4 of a goal better over the whole series than Vachon was. I think his save percentage is quite a bit better too. So, national embarrassment. And back in the NHL, looks like we managed to beat the Rangers 8-6. And we got the Canucks now. I know we got our 2 defensemen back, so I will re-add them to the lineup.
Speed says, I think we can all agree that choosing Henderson was the right choice.
Yeah, it didn't work. They didn't choose him for this game, and didn't work out that well. Harris can go to the minors. And, okay, Watson, the rookie, and Dave Dunn. Only really want to keep one of those guys up. And now Dunn's been showing a lot of potential, and now it's suddenly dropped off to 1.5 stars. So I'm going to leave Jimmy Watson, the rookie, on the team. And redo the menu. There are the lines. I did. I don't want to like that. I did redo some of the tactics. Some things weren't quite good fits anymore. What's and keep Robinson and Savard together, and Schubert and Murdoch on the bottom pair, because I think they've been together quite a bit as well. So the chemistry should be building there. Now we got the Flyers up next.
Good decision.
Season ticket numbers were still lagging behind the rest of the league a bit. It's almost as though someone keeps raising the ticket prices.
Oh, I'm sorry. Is it like $3 to come to a game? Okay, when we were again back-to-back times in the.
It's 1970. I mean, in 1972, $3 in is the equivalent of what, $400 now? Something like that.
I don't think it's quite that.
Yeah. Okay, and see how the whole lineup does against the Flyers, and Vernie Perrant is back with them. 1-1 tie. Now Perrant's going to play well as soon as it's against us.
I didn't see this till just not that long ago, but the Utah Yetis name got rejected as a trademark.
Yeah, we'll see what happens there. That's a shame. That
Did
was
you?
a good name.
Well, they said they can still fight for it, apparently. But did you see some of the comments on this on Reddit?
Nope.
So some of the top comments. Well, you should just call them the Utah Golden Yetis.
Oh yeah, yeah. No, come to think of it, I did see that one.
Uh, this is a good one too. The Utah Washington football team.
And rolling right through the preseason, Dick Redmond. Wow, Dick Redmond 5 points in a 5-2 win. So the Team Canada series did a lot for him apparently. And we should be right at the end of the exhibition season, I think. Yeah, we got a few days off before playing Vancouver in the opener. I think the roster is good to go. Yeah, as far as I can see, everything looks right. So let's hope for a relatively injury-free season. We got a few guys on waivers. Rather not lose some, but we may. And other teams waiving guys. Don't see anything of particular interest. Al Smith, decent goalie, but don't really need him. And Brian Watson getting waived by Buffalo. If we wanted a tough defenseman, we could pick him up, but no, Watson's already as good as he is, and will only get better. And or Jimmy Watson rather is. There's no relation between him and Brian. Jimmy Watson's brother is Joe Watson, I think, is probably still on the Bruins at this one. And the hammer goes to the Islanders, so we lose Dave Schultz. Season preview. And we're apparently one of the contenders. Rangers are the favorite, also the Bruins. And none of our players gets mentioned elsewhere, though. So we got the Canucks on opening night. No, the other thing I did, Adam, I bumped Nielsen and Hedberg up to the second line. So we'll see what they do with the extra playing time, because I figured Buchanan and Goldsworthy were starting to slip. And yeah, I'd say that worked out reasonably good. Do you think?
I can't see it right now. Okay.
Good.
Yeah, I get
6 points for Alf Nielsen in a 9-3 blowout over Vancouver.
So the truth is, we should probably actually try and bring Bobby Hall in, and really just make it happen.
Or you get somebody from the Hedberg and Nielsen Rangers years. Wait for Pat Hickey to come along.
I'm going to say that's still Bobby Hall. They tried initially.
Very briefly. That was just in training camp, wasn't it? Yeah.
Yeah, well, that was. I have to think
81.
here for a second. 81, I think.
Yeah, 81. Yeah. Hedberg and Nielsen were already pretty messed up by that point. I think Hedberg only played 4 games or something that year.
Yeah. No, I'm just trying to think here, though. Was that before or after he was with the Whalers, too?
Oh, that was after. He played...
Oh, was after that?
Yeah.
I thought he was there with Gordie Howe.
Yeah, he was... Here. Whalers in 79-80, and then he didn't do it. I don't think he did anything in 80-81, and then tried to come back in 81.
Okay.
And Bobby Hull Jr. was actually had a tryout with somebody that year. I can't remember who it was. He's in the database too, but I doubt he'll ever make it into the game. But in this one, he re-signed with the Hawks, didn't go to the WHA, and was somehow pointless in the first 2 games of the season.
Perfect time to trade for him.
And everything's... Oops, that's not us. That's Chicago. Yep, we're all good.
Probably flip Danny Grant for him.
Seems unlikely.
If I make this trade happen, you're going to have to do with it.
And Tony Esposito, frustrated after not getting into the Summit Series, shuts us out 1-0. And we outshot them 30-18 too. Give Edwards the start against Pittsburgh. And Edwards comes up with a 3-0 shutout. And Lowell McDonald, who is Penguin in real life, gets the first star. Ooh, and the North Stars have lost Rick McLeish, one of their better players. 9 months with a fractured skull. So that's probably going to slow Guy Lafleur's development down a little bit, because I think the two of them are playing together. And Meloche, after sitting this one, gets into the game against the Flyers, who are putting Dave Dryden in for instead of Toronto for this one, and they come up with a 4-3 win. Bill Clement, future broadcaster, for a star. All looks like all got going. 4 goals against the Blues.
Well, that's a good way to jumpstart your year.
Flyers up next. No need so far to make any lineup changes. There's no injuries or anything, and easy 6-3 win over them. And media praises Pronovost. Yeah, sure. What is our media rating at now? The relationship with the media is now good, which is pretty good after it hit pretty much rock bottom a few years ago. Whoops.
Well, I had to curse out a couple players to make it happen, but
yeah, they were okay with it apparently. Sorry, gotta get this back in frame.
I kept forgetting to look for California player again. Now that I see this again.
Yeah, I think we're going to be stuck with that bug just because it was in the save before we fixed it. And we actually lose to the Hawks there, 4-3.
Well, we had a couple guys we could have drafted, but we forgot. The bad news is we only have, 4 years of the team left?
73, 74, 75 will be in California, and then we got the 2 years in Cleveland after that. So we got 5 years left after this one. And Bob Murdoch seems to be slipping for some reason, so I'll put the rookie Watson in for a while. So we're only 500 to start the season. Bit of a disappointment. And 6-3 win. And it looks like Jerry Cheevers wound up in L.A.
He went in the...
Oh, the Interleague draft.
Yes.
Yeah.
I was going to say waiver draft, but it wasn't. I couldn't think of the right name.
Trying Edwards against relatively recent... this season's expansion team, Atlanta. And we can only get a 2-2 tie out of it. Not really Edwards' fault. Didn't get the production.
I really like the Atlanta Flames logo. It was a nice logo.
Yeah. I mean, the Calgary one isn't bad either. It's nice.
It's fine. The A was just well done. A was well stylized.
Looking through AK, yeah, Nielsen, 10 points, but 6 of that was in one game. And everybody else is not doing too badly. Nobody really lagging. So we'll see if we pick up. Quick check the WHA. How are your Jets doing? 3-4 to start the year. Leading scorer is Eugene Sobchuk. His brother Dennis is actually a pretty good WHA player, I think, with Cincinnati. And a few familiar WHA names in there. It's going to be rough in the first season, but did you notice who they got in goal?
I didn't.
Historically accurate. It's Joe Daly.
Oh, Joe Daly.
Yep. Looks like he went over as a free agent. We had him for a while. And it looks like he's been playing with various minor league teams. And it winds up in the WHA.
nice.
And Pittsburgh. Oh, I forgot to mention. I didn't notice this. We got a 6-1 win there over there, which is good news because Pittsburgh is actually our main rival, which kind of makes sense after we've bumped into them in the playoffs a lot and usually beat them. Although we got the because of the two finals with the Rangers, they're potentially our new rival. So a couple of strong rivalries going, and we lost Carol Vadney to something. That's not good. Just a strained foot, so Murdoch can go in for him. And hopefully get himself straightened out there. That's a surprise. NHL leading scorer, Cowboy Bill Flett, who's on a line with Mikita and Hull in Chicago. That makes a little more sense.
That works out well for him.
Yeah, the real Bill Flett was kind of a partier when he was that last season or the one season with the Leafs, 74-75. Apparently got himself hurt snowmobiling and showed up early for practice the next day, and because Tiger Williams was always the first guy out on the ice, and that was Williams' rookie season, I think. So the two of them were going to head out on the ice first, and Flett starts roughhousing with them, and they start wrestling around, and suddenly he falls to the ice and pretends he hurt his knee that way because he would have gotten in trouble for the snowmobiling injury. So that did not impress Williams. He wrote about it in his book a few years later. But yeah, that's, from the way Williams described it, that's typical Bill Flett. And we're having trouble with the expansion teams. 4-3 loss to the Islanders this time. Are they playing Schultz? No, it doesn't look like they're using him after they picked him up on waivers. Okay, good news is the clique broke up. Bad news is a new one immediately formed.
Awesome.
So what do we got? Vadney, Redmond, Maloney, and Levette this time. So Goldsworthy back to work. Oh, that's not good. Goldsworthy tried to intervene, and all the players in the new clique immediately decided they didn't like that. So they've got a problem with him now. So our team harmony is kind of heading south. Gonna throw Edwards in against the Bruins because it's gonna be a rough game. Yeah, 3-1 loss. They're leading to their division, probably the league as well. Oh, Danny Grant get an injury? Just a sore heel, but we'll put Maloney in for him for a day. Vadney's still a little hurt. And Chicago with our old goalie, Favela beats us 4-3. And Flett, who I was just talking about, winds up being the first star. So apparently he straightened himself out in Chicago. Or he's just afraid of Bobby Hull.
I mean, that tracks. That tracks.
And Dwayne Rupp, our old defenseman, traded from the Rangers to Atlanta. Okay, Vadney is healthy again. Murdoch's putting up numbers. I don't know why his star ratings have dropped so much. I'm going to put him back in for Watson, just see if he can get those back up somehow. Grant, that was Grant, okay. And it should be a win against the Stars, and it's a loss, 5-3. Murdoch is the second star then, but not much consolation. This is not going well. 5-7-1 to start the year. We should be better than this.
Well, if you remember how the stream last week started, we were doing terrible till we got to the playoffs.
Yeah, okay, well, Sabres are struggling and even more at least, and we take advantage of that and beat them 4-3. Add Edwards in for that. Melange is still way ahead of him though. And rematch of the final, 5-2 loss to the Rangers. Pretty much the same result as the last time we played them. Dennis Hall is struggling fitness-wise. Put the bet on the first line. Now we come away with a 5-0 win in Philadelphia. Only we got Elf Nielsen hurt in the process. Just broke his nose, so Veli-Pekka Katola, who did well after we sent him down to the minor leagues last year, but haven't been able to find him a spot yet. He gets a chance to play now. And Howe in the wings up next. And there we go. At least we're back to 500. 7-6 win. Not a defensive masterpiece. Detroit outshot us 42-31. Now 7 goals in the second period. And Goldsworthy with 4 points from the third line. But all in all, looking a little better. Murdoch continuing to score. I don't know what's with that low star rating he's got. I'm just going to leave him in there. I think that'll get better on its own. And back against the struggling Sabres. Easy 7-0 win. Only we lose both Hull and Cashman. That's not good. Ooh, Dennis Hull, strained shoulder, 1 to 2 months. I was wondering how we'd get Don Maloney into the lineup, and I guess I just found out. So Hull can go to the injured list, and how bad is Cashman? Torn quad, 1 to 2 months. So Cashman goes out for Katola, and that means I'll put Katola in the second line here, and was Cashman on... Oh, oops, what did I do there? I substituted the wrong guy somehow. I'll have to redo the lines. I only had one forward there, so I'm going to have to call up a couple of guys. Murray Wilson, who we signed as a free agent out of the OHL, is off to a good start, so try him for a while. And Jim Lorentz has been a huge disappointment. We traded Kevin Morrison for him last year. Morrison wound up winning the Conn Smythe Trophy with the Rangers, and Lorentz was out of our lineup by the end. And I think let's go with Willie Lindstrom, give him his first NHL experience.
About time.
Yeah, in fact, you can go directly in. Fourth line, but still it's something. Oops, no, I don't want Maloney on the first line. And no, don't want to delay treatment for Dennis Hall. We'll get it back in plenty of time for the playoffs. And Willie Lindstrom wants 19. He can have 91. Good news is Ulf Nielsen's back. Oh, I know what I did, because I had Katola in for Nielsen. I tried to put him in for Cashman too. So he will stay in. Lindstrom comes out. And Catola goes to the center spot there. And I don't think Grinder is the best role for him. Let's make him a little more offensive playmaker. Yeah, Lindstrom seems fine. So it's the Islanders. Should be an easier game. 3-0 shutout. And Ron Buchanan back on the second line as the first star.
Still really low on that depth chart.
Sort of climbing up the standings, but it's a tougher division this year, it looks like. Stars off to a really good start. The Canucks, on the other hand, 2-14 to start the season. What went wrong there? Perreault isn't hurt. Well, they got a first line, and not much after that, looks like. Oh, and the goaltending's awful. Tough game against the Bruins, but we come up with a 4-3 win. They're trying Bill McKenzie in goal now, and media praising Goldworthy, so sure, why not? Go along with that. And the Leafs, I'm going to slide Maloney down the lineup for this one. And yet another one of our old goalies, Cesar Maniago, against us, and we beat him 4-3. What did I? No, I want Nielsen with Hedberg. Forgot to do that when he came back. And Malash is heating up, but I'll give Edwards a start against the Wings just to get him some time. And we lose at 5-4. And Paul Henderson, we had been talking about earlier, is the first star. Oh, it looks like the Canadians have turned themselves around. They were struggling for a couple of years. It looks like they're in first now, though.
Well, they're struggling because we took everybody from them.
Actually, the Rangers just passed them, but still. Okay, yeah, Ken Dryden in goal now. They've still got Cournoyer. They got Rick Martin in the draft. I remember that. And Gary Younger. So yeah, they've got a decent core there. It's definitely not the dynasty team from the late 70s. Ooh, shut out 4-0. Oh no, that's by us. Read that backwards. Sorry. 4-0 shout out from Malash over St. Louis. And another one of our old goalies, Wayne Stevenson, goalie of the month. He's in Detroit now, apparently. Budgets can stay the same. Oh, I did hire, I think, a couple of new scouts, or at least one scout in Europe and a new assistant, too. And the Rangers have their backup in, but it's Silaps Jr. with 4 points. He's starting to break out for them. Rangers have really ridiculous depth right now. And Hedberg and Lindstrom are telling us they're ready, but I didn't know they were hurt. Hedberg still sore Achilles tendon, but we got a couple of days before the game, so let that play out. Veteran Bill Hick looks like he's on his way out of the league. 8 games with 2 different teams this season, only 1 goal. And John Ferguson, another veteran. Did he go over to Pittsburgh in the expansion draft? Yeah, he didn't leave Montreal in the real NHL and actually retired a couple of years ago, but he's hanging on in this one. It looks like the Penguins are done with him now. Hedberg is ready. And at 100%, perfect. And a rivalry game against the Penguins, and it's a 3-3 tie. A few waiver moves, nobody of real interest to us.
I mean, our team's not bad. They're just not
Yeah, just
winning.
dropping a few games. And Dryden and the Canadians, so we do manage to beat them 4-3. That's good news. So we can beat good teams. Wayne Cashman is almost off the injured list already. He's only on Dennis Hall's day-to-day, so those injuries are coming back quickly. Although we're going to lose Larry Robinson for a game, so... Watson goes in for him, and okay, well, Murdoch is back to the 2 stars he was at before. Thought he would be higher, though. And Edwards against the Bruins. We're still struggling to find a goalie, but still managed to beat us 5-2. And Canadians again. Can we do it 2 games in a row? Yeah, 7-1 win. And Jimmy Watson, the rookie, first star with 3 points. Pretty good for a defensive defenseman. And Danny Grant with the perfect offensive game rating. 3 assists, 4 plus 4. Nice game out of him. I think we're starting to come back together now. Hull is almost ready. Doesn't look like we have anything else to change. And 5-1 win over the division leading Hawks. That's nice. And Dan Maloney with 4 points.
Nice.
And injuries aren't quite back yet, but very close to it. And I'll go with Edwards against Vancouver because they're terrible this year. And we get a 5-1 win. Maloney with a couple of more points. And Hull is ready to come back. So Maloney out for him, but Maloney was playing really well. I'm going to pull Catola, who hasn't done much anything, and leave Maloney in the lineup, even if it's on the 4th line. And Murray Wilson, who we never wound up using, can go down. I think Quebec can play a little center, so I'm going to try that on the 4th line for now. And Watson out for Robinson, who's healthy again. Should be a win against the Stars. 2-2 tie. But Maloney again, 3rd star. And Cashman must be pretty close too, yeah. Day to day. And do we have, yeah, we got a roster spots for him, so I'll just take him off the injured list now. And give Edwards a start against Buffalo. Yeah, close to 1 win. But we're starting to put things back together, I think. Keep rolling against the Kings. Yeah, 7-1 win. Swedish goalie Artie Strom, and that's for the Kings.
Interesting.
Danny Grant, another big game. And media praises Dick Redmond, sure. Actually, I should probably watch that. We're going to make somebody overconfident if I keep doing that. Cashman is healthy, so Lindstrom can... Actually, no, Lindstrom goes back down. Tough choice now. Who do I take out?
Look at the stats.
Labette. 10 points in 33 games. Hall's producing. Yeah, he's.
Maybe it's time to put Labette on the trade block.
Yep, that's an idea. And replace him with Cashman. I'm going to leave him in that left wing spot because that's Cashman's natural position. He'll get. Oh, no, wait, he was in the center. That's not good. So Cashman will have to go on right. And the Canucks managed to get a point off. It was 4-4 tie. Oops, forgot to. Okay, Goldsworthy. Try not making everyone angry at you this time. Okay, a little better. They sort of listen to him. Oh, Vadnais really hates him. Conflict rating's up to 7 there. That's going to take a while to go away. Throw Edwards in for one. And we lose 4-2 to the Flyers. Disappointing. And this is this the Rangers or is this the Islanders? This is the Islanders. That's good news. 5-5 tie only. We got to start showing up for the games against the weaker teams.
So we're playing to whatever the team is.
Yeah. And we're at the end of the calendar year. Gilles Meloche named the toughest goalie to beat in the player poll.
Nice.
A little respect for him. That's good. Derek Sanderson
I think that's
for
our first
about
one.
the I think 5th consecutive year, still the most overrated player. At some point, he's not really overrated anymore. He's just rated. Oh, and Schultz is up with the Islanders and apparently is already the toughest player in the league. So he's going to stick there, it looks like.
Wait, did you trade him?
Waivers.
Oh, waivers. Okay, sorry.
Yeah, he was too old. I couldn't. And he was stuck in the minor leagues. I didn't have anybody that I could have put down instead of him. And so we got, and Dan Maloney is in the enforcer role and is doing great in it. So no complaints. Well, apparently Bobby Clark took offense at not being included on Team Canada because he's number 2 in scoring right now. Nearly hit his previous season high already, halfway through the season. And playing for the Blues, who's he got with him? Not much. Jimmy Roberts, who's a defensive forward, so he's not going to add much scoring. Craig Rams, wow, that's actually a. Is it? Yeah, Ramsey, Clark, and Roberts. That is the best checking first line you'll ever see. Yeah. They've only got Phil Muir and goalie. I wonder what their goals against looks like.
Oh, their defense is awful.
Yeah, 2nd best goals against in the league, just on the strength of that crazy good defensive first line. Yeah, they got Phil Russell coming on. Don Ari, good defensive defenseman, but after that, wow. And the budget, I'm going to crank that all the way up because we're making good money now, actually.
That's because we raised the ticket prices.
And the quick broke up on its own. So that means I can start, well, I can't go after the Goldsworthy zone, but get rid of that Lemaire Labette thing. So the Vadnais Goldsworthy thing is going to stick for a while. Can't do anything about that. And should be a win against Vancouver. 8-5. Not pretty, but well, Lemaire gets 5 points out of it. Oh, Gordie Howe finally slows down and got injured. Mild groin strain. And we're still got a little bit of time left. But having good luck against the Canadians. Gonna keep going. 4-4 tie. And Leafs the next night, gonna have to put Edwards the backup in against him. And the wingers, Rangers. Yeah, I can put Maloney on the third line for this one. Edwards comes up with a 2-1 win over the other Edwards, Roy Edwards, in the Toronto Nets, who stopped 39 shots, so decent game out of him, but the Leafs couldn't score. And 40-year-old Alex Delvecchio on waivers from the Rangers. Was he still playing for real this? Yeah, he went to play until 41. See, in this one, he's wound up leaving Detroit midway through that first expansion season, and has bounced around a bit. Blues, Canucks, now the Rangers. Still 2.5 stars. But although Katola is up to 2 stars now, I don't know. Do we need the veteran leadership that bad?
Who are you sending down?
Yeah, good question. Is there?
I mean, I guess
It
you have enough
would be
room right
Katola.
now, but... Well, you have one spot open, but...
Oh, yeah. On the other option is we could get Schultz back because the Islanders are sending him down. Oh, and our old friend Brian Ekstall, too. No, I'm going to leave the team as it is. See if somebody grabs Delvecchio. No. Delvecchio going to the AHL for the first time in probably about 20-something years. And we cruised to an 8-2 win over Vancouver or St. Louis with Hedberg and Nielsen each getting 4 points. Back against Montreal and Dryden, and 6-4 win. We're going good now, I think. So yeah, we're within 1 point of the Blues, but Chicago is way out in front still. Now we got a little bit of a gap between us and the Stars. Oh, actually, the East Division has slipped a little behind now. The top 3 teams, or at least top 2 teams, and then we're tied for 3rd with the Bruins. The top 2 teams are in the West. How'd the Blues get this good? Goaltending is average. Just Bobby Clark mostly, and that first line that nobody can score on. I'm curious about the advanced stats there. Goals against per 60 minutes for, I'm looking for, yeah, Roberts, only 2. Ramsey, 2.26. And Clark, I mean, yeah, their goals against average when that first line is on the ice is probably about 2.3 or so, and those guys are going to be playing against the other team's best players. That's pretty impressive. Actually, I can compare that. Ooh, lost to the Hawks. Just by way of comparison, our first line is Grant, Lemaire, and Pronovo. And their number, goals against, Pronovo, oh, actually pretty good. Pronovo 2.18. Oh, Lemaire 1.96. And Grant 2.49. Yeah, our guys' armor are almost as good. None of those guys are really specialized checking forwards, although they're all decent two-way players. And can we close it out with a win against the Leafs? 3-2 win. There we go. Oh. That's not good. Dick Redmond involved in an off-ice incident that has annoyed a whole bunch of guys. I'm going to go no comment on this, but what kind of a mess have we got now? Yeah. bunch of guys angry with Redmond, and Redmond hates about a third of the team, including the captain. So I think I already used the intervention. Yeah, that's going to be tough to resolve. Okay, just take a quick look at the team stats. Pronovo leading us in scoring. I think that's the first time that's happened, but he's kind of hitting the form he got into later in the decade with the Penguins in real life. Lemaire having another good season. Nielsen kind of breaking out this year and bringing Hedberg along with him. Goldsworthy, who's actually been playing a lot of third line minutes, still productive. Redmond, despite the harmony problems he's creating, is good offensively. Where is Vadnais? Oh, down there. Well, still got decent numbers. Buchanan not slowing down yet. I'm surprised.
That's okay.
And Robinson has yet to score a goal this year. Give him more playing time, maybe. And the goalies, yeah, decent numbers. 2.70 goals against average for Milosh, 2.41 for Edwards. That's actually very good for, well, yeah, around this era, that's okay. And league-wide, not a lot of surprises. Flett still in the top 10 in scoring, although Hull is on top. Actually, no, three-way tie. Hull, Clark, and Orr. All tied for the Art Ross race. And so, it's interesting there. Let's see what's going on with the WHA. Jets still sticking around 500. Now, is that Billy Harris, the young guy, or the older? No, that's the younger Billy Harris. Was the #1 overall in the NHL draft in real life this year, but waited until the second round in the game. And Chicago, the WHA, managed to sign him, and he's leading the league in scoring. And a few other familiar names: Stan Weir, Gary Ferguson, Peter McNabb. The Ottawa Nationals are dominating with, they got okay, Gary Sabourin, another ex-NHLer, and not really a mixed bag of players. Any goaltenders standing out? Joe Daly, second in the league in win. Gilles Gratton, who's don't really have enough time to go into the whole Gilles Gratton experience, but everyone sees something amusing. Look him up on Wikipedia and some of the other stories about him over the years. The guy was completely nuts. But he's a rookie here in Chicago and is actually playing pretty well. And I'm going to take a quick look if anybody has jumped up the depth chart, surprisingly. Not really. Wilson 2 stars, Black about where he was. Jim Lawrence's career has fallen apart for some reason. Don O'Donoghue, we lost to WHA, having an okay season. And Dave Dunn has kind of tapered off in the minors. Oh, and Ted Harris, so we just got as a throw-in for the Simmons, the goalie. He's not doing much, and doesn't look like Keith Magnuson is working out at all. He was sold in the NHL in real life by this point, just did not get it going here. Yeah, this would have been his 4th year in the league. And I think he's played, 3 games for us total. Disappointing. Although we do have a lot of good defensemen ahead of him. So I think I will leave that for you now, Adam. I'll just get up the Rangers game.
Oh, leave me just a pile to try and fix, okay?
Yeah, you're in third place. You can come back from this. I got you the first half of the season done.
I guess we'll find out.
And you don't really have much in the way of injuries, just a minor one to Lowell McDonald. I will even take him out of the lineup temporarily for you. But we'll see what you can do with this next week and see if you can fix whatever the dressing room problem is, because that ain't good.
Time to start moving guys out. That's what you're telling me?
Pretty much. Okay, you want to wind up there?
Sure. With that, thank you very much for tuning in to another Franchise Hockey Manager stream. We typically stream every Wednesday night at 11 p.m. Eastern on twitch.tv/franchise hockey manager, as well as twitch.tv/OOTB developments, although the odd time we do make slight changes due to our own personal schedules, like tonight. So make sure you're following us on our social medias, which we'll get to in a minute. But you can find all of our streams archived on our YouTube channel, which is youtube.com/OOTB developments, with stream archives going live typically Saturdays at about 1 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, although it'll be later this week. You can also reach out to us on our Facebook page, which is facebook.com/franchise hockey manager. We're on Bluesky as @franchise-hockey. We have a link to our Discord and on our Bluesky page, as well as our website. And of course, our website is ootpdevelopments.com. Click on the community button in the top right-hand corner, which will bring you to official forums. You can come talk about Franchise Hockey Manager, Out of the Park Baseball, Perfect Team, Go, or anything else you wish to discuss. Jeff, is there anything else you want to mention?
Just that we may be doing a hotfix in the next couple of days or so. There's a problem with multiplayer that we thought was going to take a little longer to fix than it has. We think we may have a fix for that, so stay posted. Keep posted. We'll let you know what's going on with that, but we may have a minor fix out in the next, I'll say by the end of the week, possibly sooner than that, but we'll see. And just to fix that, and then probably a few small sorted other little things that have been fixed to this point that were safe to put in with it. The real update, though, will still be coming probably sometime around the second week of February, towards the end of that. And there'll be a few new things in it. Content update. As I mentioned, one of them that I'm talking about now is the Old Western Hockey League from 1948 to 74, I think, or 73, I think, of the years. So you got 25 years of that. That will be playable and historical, and that's gets us to about 3/4 of the top level minor leagues playable and historical. Then we'll finish that off next time, the trading deadline update, adding the International League from 1984 on. So we should have more or less full coverage of the NHL's top minor leagues from the pretty much the time where the whole affiliate system was fully operational, from the I can't remember what year the AHL starts. I suppose I could just look that up right here, couldn't I? (1940). So 1940 on, we'll have playable minor leagues. It should be thoroughly covered, and I just want to see what is... Wow. I saw the Richmond Robins look terrible. 2 wins in 46 games, and then I looked up, and these Springfield Kings are even worse. 1 win in 50 games. So the Kings need to be sending a few guys down to their farm team. That's embarrassing. But we'll close out there, and yeah, so I'll let you know what's happening with that potential hotfix this week. And then with the bigger update, maybe be able to tell you a little bit more about what's going to that next time. So thanks for coming out, and we will see you a week from now when Adam tries to unfix the horrific team morale problems I've created.